Winkle.
Hello, hello.
There he is. Alright, we are now starting the qualifying round of the West Division race of the SF1 series. Now, we did race in the Eastern Division here a little bit ago, which, I mean, I think we had some good racing, didn't we?
Yeah, it was close between the four of us. There was only four of us, unfortunately, but throughout the whole 26 laps, I think we all did pretty good. There was no issues or anything like that, and there was quite a few position changes.
Absolutely, and I mean, I think the boost, you know, helped keep that race interesting, especially with only 4 people. But let's take a look, see who we got here. So we've got, who is this gentleman here? Patriotic with Toro Rosso. Out here qualifying. See, behind him we've got Mr., what do you call him, Presidio?
Presidio, yep. That was a mistake that I had made. But it was so eagerly informed, it's pronounced Presidio.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to be a long-running joke for a while. Let's see, right behind, we've got Igor, which Frankenstein is nowhere to be seen, so that's why he's allowed to race. 4th place, we got Apex in the BWT livery. 5th place, we got the one and only Vasco Francisco. 6th place, we got Kleckle. In 7th place, we got Venom. 8th place, J-Rod. That looks to be our field. I mean, I think this is going to be a good race.
Yeah, there's a lot of drivers with different skill backgrounds. Fortunately, they have more drivers than Division 1, so it's anybody's guess on who's going to lead the qualifier and then again for the race.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's just take a quick look here at their beginning laps. Well, actually, boy, they're so different. But you know what? It's all good. It's only their first lap. But looks like Patriotic is about to make his first qualifying lap. Let's see. Let's see how he does. Post is a 128.8.
It's not a bad time.
That's not a bad time. Presidio with a 127. Good lord.
He was going to post a 130.
Not a bad time. Very respectable. And then we got Apex and Francisco close together, 131, and did not happen to catch the time for Francisco, but
he's going to take a 128. That's going to put him in 2nd place.
That's good.
Looks like he had a bit of trouble though coming out of the first corner there. He's going to cut it and come around.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to give him about a half-second penalty as well. Let's just hope he's able to burn that off and still keep a respectable pace in qualifying. Let's see here, J-Rob just crossed the line posting a 131.91. Not a bad time, not a bad time.
A lot of good liveries on the cars as well.
There are. I mean, I think everybody stepped up their game in the livery department. Let's just hope all that money, you know, let's just say, let's hope some money went into the engineering department. and not all about the livery.
It's one thing if they look good, it's another thing and if they can handle them well.
Absolutely. And I think Ferrari's done a wonderful job with their livery.
Oh yeah.
It's simple, but if you look close enough, I mean, there is a picture of a horse. I know, interesting with who, but
You gotta have a horse.
You always gotta have a horse.
That's the team you were on last season, wasn't it?
It was, and you know, it's fun rocking a Ferrari livery, even though it didn't look nowhere near as good as the people that are, you know, fielding the car. But, you know, speaking of people, it's kind of cool to see Venom and Francisco back as teammates, especially after winning the championship last season.
Yeah, I believe they opted to stick together, so they're gonna go into season 2, the only team to have stayed together.
Yeah, now do you think that'll help with their race results and how they race each other?
Well, from what I understand, Venom's gotten a lot better, and his skill level's gotten a lot better during the downtime between the seasons. So it's going to be interesting to see how well he's come from season 1. I know he struggled a little bit with it, but I think with Francisco as his teammate, I think that Red Bull is definitely going to be a team to look out for.
And you know, funny you mentioned Red Bull.
I'm sorry, yeah, Ferrari.
Yeah, it looks like the team of J-Rod and Igor, they're currently 5th and 6th.
Yeah, I told them before the season even started that they have a high standard to live up to.
And I mean, that is absolutely the case. You know, what did you finish last season? I think 3rd?
I finished 3rd being a solo driver, yep.
Yeah, and I mean, come on. You know, they've got big shoes to fill.
We'll see how they do.
You know, yeah, honestly, I think they'll do good. And with Igor kind of being a newer driver, I think he's going to be learning a lot this season. And
he's a new face.
He is. I mean, he raced a couple races last season, and I think that helped kind of get some experience under his belt. But I think he's going to learn a lot and grow as the season progresses, so I'm excited to see what he has to offer.
I think we might have all the teams present for this one. I know that myself and G8 are on Team Mercedes, but we're in Division 1, so nobody from Mercedes is going to be in Division 2. But I think we get a little bit of everybody in this division as we do in Division 1. Well, except for Red Bull and Ferrari, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we pretty much have all the teams present. I know we're missing Solar Driver. He had let's just say, duty called. So, which is understandable. I mean, it's all good. And it looks like Presidio is the lone Haas driver. Which, can we just take a minute here and, I mean, check out his livery. It is well done. Well done.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers have put plenty of time into their livery. It just kind of makes me want to go back and revisit mine for the season.
Exactly. I think I need more flex tape on my car, though.
Yeah. I was disappointed in seeing, I don't think I saw any flex tape sponsorship on yours. Of course I didn't.
I had a little bit, but I need to make it bigger. There's a reason why they invited me to their VIP group. And it was not because of my looks. But, oh, look at that. Vasco posting a 126.
He's a contender, that's for sure.
Oh, man. He ain't
delivering
no
times like that.
Yeah. God bless.
Looks like we're going to have the same expectancies out of him as we did last season as well, bringing his A game with every race.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you too, as good of a racer he is a wonderful mentor and a teacher.
Oh, absolutely. He's always willing to help out the other drivers. It's in the works, as a matter of fact, to him and I are going to be making some videos about going over track layout and passing points, braking points, things like that. We plan on starting it out with a track and car of our choice, but after that it's going to be left up to the community as far as what you guys would like to see next.
I mean, that's a great idea. I mean, there's no such thing as taking in too much knowledge.
No.
Especially in this game or in the racing world in general. I mean, there's tips and tricks. I mean, there's stuff that I could probably teach you, stuff you could probably teach me.
Oh, definitely.
You know, that's the wonderful thing about racing and the wonderful thing about Gran Turismo.
Everybody has their different approach. And, you know, you throw it a step further, we'll go ahead and dive into this. Francisco, actually, I believe, is the only one in this division to be racing on a controller.
He is. I'm almost 100% sure he is. And, you know, it's kind of ironic. Everybody says, you know, steering wheel's the way to go. You're going to get better. I mean, this dude is kicking everybody's butts with a $60 controller. And, you know, even though I said that, he just went off the track. But,
yeah, that's what happens sometimes. You overshoot it.
Yeah, it happens to everybody. But, you know, it's a game of skill. I mean, I race with a controller.
He's gonna lose it again there, it looks like.
Yeah, oh no, he decided to take a shortcut. I guess he got bored.
He's gonna...
Yeah, good lord. Fasco! That's not the track! Starts doing that, he might as well change to dirt tires.
That's what it looks like. I don't know, he might...
I wonder if his tires are shot.
I think they don't look shot. I think it's just all that road wear putting it into the dirt and it'll get him. He might try to squeeze into the pits here. Looks like he's going to.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to worry about burning it off. He'll just swap tires completely.
Yeah.
But go ahead and take a look down the list once again now that everybody submitted a comfortable time. Looks like Presidio almost did it again. He's sitting comfortable in second place.
Oh, yeah.
9/10 of a second gap between him and Venom in third. Patriotic behind him, just 4/10 of a second.
Looks like J-Rod's about a second and a half, running a 130. And then Igor, who's just, I guess, chilling, running a 130 as well. He's about, good lord, 0.147 seconds away. I'm gonna
He
go
might
ahead
be comfortable
and,
with that one.
let's go ahead and I'm gonna send out a message here just saying last lap. Kleckl looks like he's about, oh gosh, he's just about tied with Igor. Running a 130, 281, and then Apex, I'm sorry, ugh. Running a 131.8.
We'll keep an eye on him, and once he crosses, we'll start.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. So what do you think the best pit strategy is there? Because I've heard you're one of the masterminds when it comes to pit strategies. I mean, you really know how to conserve fuel and tires. What do you think would be the best strategy to use this race?
For this race, is definitely not the pit strategy I'd used. That was awful. I don't know what I was thinking. Believe it or not, when I go about doing the pit strategy for each race, the track is a big factor, but usually it's not until I'm well within a couple laps of the race that I really hammer down and figure out what I want to do. But as far as this track goes, it's 26 laps. You're going to have to pit twice, at least for fuel. So if the drivers were to start out on softs, they could make it to the second pit stop, potentially without changing their tires, so it'd just be a fuel stop. But you know, it's definitely going to be a two-stop race unless you really hammer down and you conserve and you're still able to maintain that position.
Yep. Alright, looks like we're going to be starting the race here.
That'll do it.
Alright. Oh, wait, never mind. Good lord. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, guys. It is my first time legitimately, hosting a room.
A little bit of technical difficulties. My headset died.
Oh, no.
There we go. Division 2's first race.
Yep, gonna be a good one. I mean, look at that lineup. We've got, what, 8 cars on the track. It's gonna be a good time.
Oh, yeah. None of them are slow by any means.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they were, I think, at most 5 seconds away from each other, between first and last. But let's see what we got going on here.
Looks like the majority of them are going to start out with super softs.
Yep, and they all got off to a clean start. We've already got people making moves here. We got Patriotic right in the middle. Right in the middle. He is going to try and squeeze by, and he does. Good job. Venom is sitting there battling for fourth. Or battling for third, I should say. And I mean, whoa. Presidio. Fans looks like, man, he gets into the grass, falls to the back. But man, looks like we got a really good battle here up in the middle of the pack. Jagerod just passed Venom for fourth. Now it looks like he's going to be chasing Patriotic. Meanwhile, got Presidio second, Francisco first. I tell you what, I'm interested between third and sixth right now. I mean, look at this battle. They're
all holding their lines pretty comfortably, just waiting for that right opportunity.
That too, but I mean, this is only lap 1 of 26. I mean, who knows what we're gonna see down the road there.
Well, looks like J-Rod's gonna have a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, got a little bit loose there, but you know what? It's first lap, recover, and just go ham. Looks like Kleckel's trying to make a move there on the inside. Let's see if he'll make it. And contact between J-Rod and Kleckel.
That's gonna push him back. Allow Igor to make the slip pass as well.
Yeah. Ooh. My word.
Team Red Bull side by side. Nope. A little bit of contact between the both of them.
Yeah. Looks like Igor kind of cut there in the grass, but
yeah, he's gonna get half the second penalty.
Yeah. But he'll burn that off pretty quick. I imagine he'll burn it off after this straight here.
Oh yeah, he's already down to 0.2 of a second now.
Yeah, he's got it. It looks like Venom picked up a penalty too. But he'll burn that out in no time. Let's see, we got Toro Rosso, Ferrari.
J-Rod having a little bit of trouble though.
Yeah, Kleckel cut through the corners there. It looks like Apex is going to get right by J-Rod. Let's see what happens here between J-Rod, Igor, and Apex.
J-Rod's gonna jump into the inside line there and try to get around Apex, and it was successful.
Yeah, that was a good move there.
Starting to spread out now through the track.
So let's see here, lap 3, we've got Vasco Francisco with about a just under a 1 second lead. Looks like Presidio is going to be chasing him down. Looks like Presidio is on a purple lap, so I guess we better be quiet there for a sec. Make sure we don't break his concentration.
Just feel the eyes on him.
Oh yeah. I mean, Patriotic in 3rd, Venom 4th, Kleckle 5th, Igor 6th, J-Rod 7th, and Apex 8th. And man, this is some close racing. And it looks like we got a battle for 1st happening right now.
Oh, we do. Presidio is giving the
man.
heat right on to Francisco. Francisco, knowing he's back there, is going to try to throw him off a little bit.
Yep. Look, he about pulled the serpentine. One of my favorite moves.
I think Chris is going to sit comfortably in 2nd, just to try to follow Francisco's line for a minute and maybe use that slipstream to run lean. Unfortunately, we're not able to tell, but
yeah. It looks like Patriotic, he is giving his all to defend 3rd place. I mean, Venom is right on him.
Venom and just about everybody else, it seems. He's got a whole wall to hold back.
I was going to say, we've got a pretty good... Oh, someone hit the wall. That was Kleckle. Man, what a
hard
shame.
wipe out.
Hard. But you know what? You know what he has that nobody else does at the moment? Yeah, he got that boost. He got that nos is what he's got.
He'll catch back up in no time.
Oh no, give him about half a lap. He'll be 3rd. Man, I'm really liking this battle here between 1st and 2nd.
It is. I think Presidio is trying to play it safe.
I think he is too. I think he's just kind of waiting for that moment to pass him. That moment of attack. Clearly that was not the right move there. Man, we've got some good battles going on. We now got a battle between Apex and J-Rod. Looks like J-Rod's going to go around on the outside, try to pass Apex, but doesn't get it done.
Apex slamming the door on him.
Yeah, well, he slammed the door and stubbed the dude's toe. It's a shame. Look at that, J-Rod's he's trying to go on the inside there, but Apex is just not having it. Not gonna have it. Oh, let's see what we've got here going on. We got Francisco. Looks like he's starting to pull away from Presidio there with just over a 2nd lead. Patriotic still defending that spot, man. I feel bad for that guy. I've been in his shoes before, and let me tell you, it is not a good feeling.
It's really not. You never know when the driver's going to try to see your slightest miscalculation as an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, man, come on. You never know if the guy's going to get a little bit too aggressive or too excited. Maybe hit the poor guy, but looks like he is doing a wonderful job holding on to 3rd. Let's see here. What kind of battles we got going on here? We still got a battle between J-Rod and Apex. And now it looks like there's been a lead change. Looks like Presidio has taken the lead. Now let's see if he can hold them off there. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. Looks like Kleckle catched up to the or caught up with the group. But oh man, Kleckle just rammed into his teammate Apex.
Yeah, that's gonna send them both to the outside apron. Not a good sign for Team BWT.
I imagine there's gonna be some works there after the race. Be it friendly or not, there's gonna be something. And it looks like Apex just got hit with a half-a-second penalty. But look at that, lap 6, Patriotic has pitted. That's an interesting strategy.
Looks like he might have only got fuel.
No, it looks like he changed tires as well. He was running super soft, now he's running softs.
Might try to make it a one-stop.
He very well could be. You know, there's always a method to everybody's madness.
And see, he's another one, though. He didn't show up very often last season, but when he did, everybody knew it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everybody felt his presence. I mean, he was there to kick butt and chew bubblegum, and he was clearly out of bubblegum, and he was angry. But you know, he might also be taking advantage of that boost. Looks like he is gaining on everybody pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, he won't have a better problem with that, and by the time we get around to the start-finish stretch,
and then, oh man, collision again. Sorry there, but I just noticed a collision between BWT.
Looks like they're having a little bit of problems with their connection as well. It got them jumping around a lot. That might be an underlying issue, not knowing where each other's at.
Very well could be, which, man. Let's see here, looks like Apex is going to try to pass Kleckle. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right.
It looks to be Kleckle, but...
Well, who knows, it could be Kleckle or Kleckley or... Looks like Presidio is still holding strong at first place. He is doing a good job of fending Vasco off.
I don't know. I think that he's using that as a strategy. Using it to, he might be fuel saving, using that slipstream. You never really can tell with him.
You can't, and that's the scary thing about him.
He's one of the ones that doesn't do something for nothing.
Yeah, and you know, we were talking about, you know, there's a method to people's madness, and clearly this dude is, I don't know, what you want to call him, a mad scientist?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. He knows the ins and outs, just about everything. And F1 or SF1 or SF19, I'm sorry. He knows a lot about, so he knows how the cars handle. I believe he's got it pretty down pat as far as his pit strategy goes. So
yeah, and speaking of pit strategy, looks like Venom and J-Rod have begun to pit.
It's getting about that mark for everybody to take their first pit, whether it be for fuel or tires or both.
It is. It is, and it looks like J-Rod switched to soft tires there, so I'm curious to see why.
I know another strategy that some of them might use is using the super softs at the start of the race to gain the ground, and then swapping over to softs just to try to... They'll last a little longer. The difference is sometimes, you know, it doesn't always matter too much, but I think that in the back of their mind, they think that if they can get by with the softs, they can get by without having to swap them out for their second stop. And that's, you know, that equals less time in the pit and more time on the track.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of which, looks like Apex is just having a heck of a time trying to keep his car under control. I mean, he went back into the dirt there a couple turns ago, and man, I think he's gonna have to pit pretty soon.
Yeah, he's looking. He's almost at halfway on the front tires, and he's below a quarter tank now of fuel. So it won't be too much longer before he'll have to go in. I've noticed that he's also, unless he's been running the whole time, he's now got traction control on, so he knows his tires are getting that way.
Yeah, and that is a smart move, you know, to have that traction control on.
Absolutely, especially if your tires start getting to the point where it's harder to handle. That's always the best route to go, just to make them last a little bit longer, even if it's only on the lowest setting.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like Francisco did pit there. He is right behind his teammate Venom. And he's got J-Rod hot on his feet.
Oh yeah, J-Rod will definitely put the pressure on him, if not try to pass him.
Yeah, and I mean, J-Rod is no joke. I mean, he is part of Full Attack Motorsports, and you know, they are a pretty serious racing division. So, I mean, he's definitely got experience with racing.
I'm gonna make sure some good pictures. I know that much is as far as the race replays go. Oh, J-Rod's gonna put it into the dirt.
Oh man. Oh man, he was chasing down Francisco too.
Sometimes you just get lost in the sauce.
You do.
But no, as far as the replay goes, a lot of these guys have been able to stick with their teammate, using each other as they go on throughout the race.
Yeah, I mean, you
so
know,
it'll make some good pictures, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at it here, looks like Francisco and Venom look like they're teaming up, which, ironically, you know, they are teammates. But kind of looks like they're feeding off of each other there. Try to help save fuel or save tires.
Looks like they both have already pit their first stop, so I think they'll be good for a little while, and if they continue to use that method, that's definitely going to benefit them in the long run. They're already, one's got pole, and, you know, Francisco's right behind him, so that'll definitely help them out points-wise.
Absolutely.
Or, I'm sorry, not pole, but podium.
Oh, pole, podium, standings, it's all the same. But it looks like our leader has pit there. I wonder what kind of tires he's going to go with. And Patriotic is now taking the lead.
Sneaking up from behind. I expected he'd be one of the top contenders for this race, Patriotic. Didn't take it very long to get up in that first place spot. Looks like he's going to stick with Super Softs though.
I mean, it's not a bad strategy at all.
No, they're definitely a better compound to have. They got the most grip.
Yeah, and I mean, if you tune your car right too, I mean, you can make the Super Softs last, you know, a long time actually.
There's very little difference when it comes to either compound, Super Softs or Softs. I know myself, I prefer the Softs until the second or third pit stop. Or I'm sorry, the Super Softs until the second pit stop, and then I swap to the Softs, just like a lot of these drivers have already done. They do burn a little bit faster, but it all just depends. You know, they're just now starting to approach the halfway mark in the race, so it's just a case of having to see on whether or not they decide to stick with it. We don't know their strategy just yet, if they're going to change on their second pit stop or not, or if they're just going to ride it out to the end.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, there's a quote here that I found in regards to strategy. You might know this one, Winkle. It is from a pretty famous movie, but that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Let's see, everybody's pretty close together. I mean, Patriotic's just pulling away from everybody. But I mean, from second all the way to seventh, I mean, they're just about maybe a second or two, you know, between each other.
Oh, they're all close knit together, and
oh yeah,
you know, that's really good. That's what you want to see. That'll definitely keep us guessing up until everybody crossing the finish line. I know that much.
Yeah. Yep.
And we'll take a look here right now. As we mentioned before, Team Ferrari has sealed the second and third spots right now as it stands for the podium finishes.
And that is a great job too, because it looks like they're starting to gain on Patriotic. I mean, they cut his lead down to just over 9 seconds.
Oh wow, yeah, that is quite the lead he's gotten. Lucky for him, he's been able to pull away. I think he's going to be pretty comfortable up there for quite a while, if not the remainder of the race. We'll just have to see. We can take a look at him real quick. Looks like, I don't think he's pit yet, to be completely honest.
He pit, I think, back on lap 6, I believe.
Oh yeah, he did. He pitted.
Yeah, it looks
he was
like
the one
the
that
end
pit
of lap
early.
6.
Yeah, that early pit stop definitely helped him, as you can see, with that lead. But he is starting to feel the wear on his tires, and he's now down below a quarter tank of fuel. He's going to need to stop pretty soon. But if he plays his cards right, it'll be enough just to get him across the finish line. It'll be a longer stop, but with a lead like that, I don't think he's got that much to worry about.
Oh, no. No, I think maybe he's going to lose. You know, personally, I think he's going to be about 8 seconds behind the leader if he does choose to pit right now. You know, Venom and Francisco, they've got to pit. I mean, Venom's about a little less than half a tank. Francisco's approaching half a tank of fuel left. So, I mean, this is definitely a 2-stop race. So, what I think Patriotic is doing could very well be a genius pit strategy.
Oh, absolutely. And it's up in the air. I know I've done it a couple times myself, that early pit stop. But it's also, it could be a gamble, because it all depends really on how the other drivers are thinking and what their strategy is. And it's just a play of the cards on if that strategy will work or not. It's a bold strategy, but if it plays right, it's definitely a good one to use.
Absolutely. Let's see who we've got here. And you know, we were talking about newcomers to the league, and check out Igor running 4th.
He's made his mark, that's for sure. He's in the position we saw before, holding back that wall of drivers. Looks to be his teammates not too far behind him, too.
No, not at all. But I mean, a newcomer to the league, first race of the new season, running 4th. I mean, come on, dude. Oh, spin out. Who do we got? Who was the victim? Presidio. Oh, man, that's going to hurt him. That's going to hurt him.
Yeah, that's going to knock him all the way back into the last spot. Looks like Patriotic has taken a pit now.
Yep. Now, personally, from what I'm thinking here, I think if Patriotic could run super softs, full tank, he could very well last until the end of the race.
Well, surprisingly, you almost had that right. Looks like he's going to stick with the softs, but he's going to get just shy of a full tank. Perhaps just looking in to see what he'd need to cross the finish line, and maybe just a little bit extra to use some of that overtake, because he's still got quite a bit of that left.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, it looks like we got some bumping and love tapping going on there in the middle of the pack between Presidio and Apex and J-Rod. Looks like giving each other some friendly nudges of encouragement, shall we say. Well, let's check out our folks over at the Prancing Horses, see how they're doing. Looks like we got Venom first, Francisco second. And Igor is third. But I think Igor's going to have to pit here within the next lap or two.
Yeah, he's running short on gas, and he could go for a change of tires. Definitely, with 10 laps to go, I don't think he'll be able to hold on to them till the end of the race, so it'll be a full stop for him, I think.
Yeah. Let's see here. It looks like we got a battle for fourth between Presidio and Patriotic. Hello.
Patriotic quick to make it his way back up those ranks.
Yeah. And then Presidio goes into the dirt. Oh no. Oh my gosh.
You hate to see it, but I think sometimes race gets the better of them. We've seen that quite a bit last season. But, you know, it happens to everybody.
It does. You know, it's even happened to Mr. Perfect himself, Vasco Francisco. I mean, it catches up to you.
Well, once you start getting once the car starts getting lighter with the fuel burn, and you burn off some of the grip on those tires, the car just feels like a completely different animal. You know, you go around for so many laps and you're used to the car basically doing the work itself, and then you just lose all that momentum, especially with the tires starting to wear. It's just, you know, you think you can run it one way and find out you're in the dirt. So
yeah, and that's when that super formula just pretty much looks at you, says nope, and then body slams you, and before you know it, you're in a wall.
Yeah, definitely can cost you the race, that's for sure.
Yep, and it looks like Venom's gonna have to pit here after this lap.
Yeah, he's really struggling now. He's in the red when it comes to fuel. I think his teammate might have a lap or two left in him. We'll see how it goes. They might even pit together.
Yeah, you know, that wouldn't be a bad strategy at all. Because, I mean, the way that they've been working together all race, I mean, you could tell it's paid off for both of them.
Oh, for sure. And with almost a 10-second gap between Francisco and Patriotic there in third place, I think that if they were to do that, it wouldn't take them very much time to get back to where they are now.
Oh yeah.
Francisco starting to feel that looseness.
Oh,
as I mentioned before, he's going to go in for a pit.
Yeah.
As well as Venom.
Smart move, my man. And then Patriotic looks like he's going to take the lead.
See if he can beat the other two out quick enough.
It looks like Presidio quickly rebounded to second place there.
He's got a little bit of a gap. Looks like he's maintaining that time.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at his lap times too, he has been pretty consistent.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's one thing I don't think a lot of people realize. When you have consistent lap times, it helps you out tremendously in the long run.
Absolutely, and you know, it could mean the difference between getting a podium finish or even first place. As long as you stay consistent, that's all that matters in the race, because you're not getting slower, and you might not be getting faster either, but there are those out here that can run a perfect lap and then turn around and wipe out or make a mistake on lap 2, and that's just all that time that they've worked on lost. But if you remain consistent, I mean, that's just, that can give you the opportunity to make the pass, or even, stick up there with them when waiting for their next mistake.
Oh, for sure. And it looks like Vasco and Venom are trying to get around J-Rod there. It looks like J-Rod is just not having it. I mean, he's pretty much telling them to shut the front door. And we got a blue flag?
Yeah, I noticed that before. I think our friend Kleckle is having a bit of issues.
Yeah.
He's going all the way back there in 8th.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Kleckle is new to this series, isn't he?
I want to say he is. I know I've seen the name before, but it could have been anywhere really. I think as far as the SF series goes, he is a new face as well. Both him and Igor.
Oh yeah.
But I got a feeling though. I don't think Igor's new. I think what it is he's had a name change. So I'm not completely sure if it's a returning driver or if he is brand new.
And that very well could be the case as well. I know a lot of us have changed our names. Yourself included there, to represent RWB Racing.
Looks like Presidio is going to be on his second pit stop. Going to be the final one. Same lap as I did last race for lap 20. Or into 21.
And that's not a bad idea, because you're going to have the fresher tires out of everybody. And you're only 14 seconds behind the leader. Which, speaking of which, he's running about half a tank. He's going to cut it close there towards the end of the race.
And I thought about it, and I'm going to fill everybody in on a little bit of a secret that they might not know. For that first pit stop, if you kind of judge in your mind how far you can go, try to calculate what would be the best beneficial second pit stop if you have to stop twice. Don't get a full tank of gas, but get as far as you think you need to be. So for instance, these drivers stopped on lap 8, and they know that they need a second pit stop. If you get enough fuel to get to lap 20, then that's all you really need. You don't need that full tank of gas just to have it. Maybe try to make your second pit stop shorter. It's always easier to have the less weight and push it to that second pit stop, because you're going to have it anyway.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I don't think you want to kind of push to the limit every single time you get a pit.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't want to run your gas down to 0. I mean,
right.
I've seen a couple people do that, and I mean, it works for them, but I think generally it's kind of not a bright idea.
You're playing with fire when it comes to that, because the drivers also have that overtake option, and that does burn a lot of fuel. I know that if I'm calculating my fuel, I usually add an extra lap just to use that overtake. And yeah, it is more weight, but like I said, if you play your cards right, you never have to fill up on your first stop on a two-stop race.
Oh no. Speaking of which, I mean, most of everybody still has overtake. I know Francisco there, he looks like he ran out of maple syrup.
He did, and I think that was, I was watching that earlier, and I think it was just so that way he could kind of keep the pace with Venom, his teammate, and I think that was all he was concerned about. I mean, at the end of the day, he is a very good driver, so I doubt that he really needed if it came down to it.
Nah.
As you can see, he's leading now. We only have 3 laps to go, and he's up there in second place, and his teammate's not far behind him. So, looks like they are going to try to seal the deal for the podium finishes.
Yeah, or at least the 1-2 finish.
Right.
I think that's what they're going to be shooting for.
However, it could be anyone's guess because, yeah, Francisco's already caught back up with Patriotic now. It's only going to be a 1.5-second gap between the two of them.
Yeah, that poor guy, let me tell you. I mean, he's led a good chunk of this race, too. He's got about 3.5 laps to go.
We'll see if he can hang on. He's got the overtake, he's got the fuel. Looks like his tires are starting to go on him, but, you know, like I said before, that's just a gamble you take. I think that he's going to try to ride it out with him. I mean, you know, you got 3 laps left. That's your best case, really. If he stops now, he knows that that's going to cost him with the other drivers being close as they are.
Yeah, but you know what I find interesting? I mean, right now, Patriotic, his tires are wearing down, obviously, but he's got more fuel than Francisco. Do you think that could make a difference?
It could. Unfortunately, we can't tell how many. We can't see the fuel map, so we're not able to tell exactly how many laps each drivers have. There is a bit of a difference between the two. I think, like I said, Patriotic is going to go for it. Francisco might have enough. He's definitely got the right setup for it, minus the overtake. Looks like he might even have just a little bit of overtake left. But it could be. Then again, you know, with the multiplier on the fuel, he could have 1 lap left, you know. So being neck and neck like this, I think that he's going to try to do what he can. If he needs a fuel save, he'll fuel save using that slipstream. And I think that they'll both they'll both not have to pit again, I don't think.
Yeah, and it looks like Apex just, oh wow, he got airborne. Boy, he frickin' sent it. Oh my goodness.
You definitely do that around some of these corners, that's for sure, if you're not careful.
Oh no! No, Igor just took out Presidio.
That's not good.
Oh man, spun him out.
You gotta love the sportsmanship, though. Igor waiting up for Presidio to get back on track, allowing him that position. It's a general rule we try to go for in the community if something happens and you knock another driver off to allow him to take that position back. It might cost you the race or it might cost you a couple positions, but at the end of the day, we're all here to race clean.
Yep. You know, we're here to have a good time. And I think ultimately it helps your reputation as well.
Of course, absolutely.
If you're known to spin people out, just pass them, pretty much tell them to pound salt, you know, you're not going to get a lot of help from anybody else.
No, and you might make the wrong person mad enough that he goes to take you out.
Yep.
Fortunately, J-Rod's going to dive bomb in there. Looks like he's going to knock Presidio out a little bit. Unfortunately, he didn't knock anybody off, but he could have saved a little bit of time with that and just held his ground, but he went for it.
Yep. And it looks like Vasco and Venom are now 1 and 2.
Patriotic might start to feel the wear on his tires.
I think that's very well what it is. Looking at Francisco and Venom, you know, tire-wise they're doing great, but I'm kind of starting to worry about Francisco there. He's in the red. He's got 1 more lap.
I think he'll make it. I'm going to give it a rough estimate and say that he's got about 0.8, anywhere from a 0.8 to a full liter of fuel left. He might look to fuel save on this next lap, maybe even use his teammate, allow him to pass and slipstream it all the way across to the finish. But like I said, unfortunately, we don't have that information, so we just have to watch and see what happens.
Yep. But oh man, we got penalties across the board, man, from 4th and 6th place. Looks like both BW team Super Formulas there receiving penalties.
They've had a hard time throughout the race. I don't think that this is one they agree with.
No, I think they've definitely need some bonding going on there. You know, connect better as teammates. But you know what? It's the first race of many.
That is true.
If you got your problems, now's the time to fix it. Man, oh man, look at Francisco. Look at that fuel gauge.
Oh, he's definitely feeling it, and I think he's outright right now. I'm not gonna have. He doesn't have a care in the world. That's gonna be him finishing in first place, and his partner in second, with Patriotic coming in third to seal the podium.
Yep, Presidio rebounds, finishes 4th, as well as Kleckle, J-Rod, Apex, Igor.
Igor's out of fuel.
Ran out of gas.
Oh no.
Oh man.
You hate to see it.
You do. That is like the walk of shame.
Good race from everybody. Fantastic standings.
You know, it was, and I'm going to let you all know right now, with the amount of bumping and stuff going on, I'm pretty sure I can get everybody some flex tape, flex seal, like you name it, I probably got it.
And there's our winner, looking dapper as usual, with his suit and tie.
Yeah, but great race overall. I mean, there's a lot of bumping and running and a lot of passing. So,
absolutely.
What's that?
It was a great race. It was anybody's guess to see who was going to come out. Like I said, you sit here and guess all day long, but with a lineup like this, and you know, it's no telling who's going to come across that finish line in the end.
Yeah. But thank you everybody for coming out, watching the past 2 races here. Be sure to check out RWB Racing on Facebook. www.rwbracing.com, where you can find all the stats, updates, pictures, events, you name it, we got it. This is Cupcake, Winkle, we're signing out. Peace.